Have you ever wondered why cities are designed the way they are? Could it be random, or is there an art behind it? Let's delve into that fascinating question by exploring the intersection of architecture and urban planning. You see, these two fields are not separate entities, but rather, they intersect and influence each other in profound ways. Architecture, with its focus on the design and aesthetics of individual buildings, and urban planning, with its emphasis on the layout and functionality of entire cities, are two sides of the same coin. They work in tandem, each shaping the other. A well-planned city can inspire awe-inspiring architecture, while extraordinary architecture can transform a city's landscape. It's a symbiotic relationship, where the collective vision of architects and urban planners comes together to create the beautiful, functional cities we inhabit. So, the next time you walk through a city, take a moment to appreciate the intricate dance between architecture and urban planning. Understanding this relationship is key to appreciating the beauty and functionality of our cities. Let's travel back in time and see how architecture has shaped our cities from the beginning. It's a fascinating journey that starts with the first human settlements, where architecture was born out of necessity. These were simple structures, yet they laid the foundation for what was to come. As civilizations began to rise, so did the complexity of their architecture. In ancient Egypt, for instance, cities were meticulously planned and built with an understanding of the sun's path to optimize light and heat. This level of detail extended to their monumental pyramids, which were not just tombs, but symbols of power and technological prowess. Fast forward to ancient Rome, a city that was a marvel of architectural and urban planning. The Romans built an extensive network of roads and bridges, connecting their vast empire. They constructed aqueducts, bringing water into the city and improving public health. The Roman Forum, the heart of social and political life, displayed their architectural grandeur. These innovations didn't just serve functional purposes, they shaped Rome's identity and influenced cities for centuries to come. Then let's take a look at the planned city of Alexandria, Egypt. Founded by Alexander the Great, it was designed using a grid system, a method that allowed for efficient movement and organization. This city planning strategy is still in use today in many modern cities. In medieval Europe, architecture played a key role in urban planning as well. Cities were built around castles or fortresses for protection, and this often determined the layout of the streets and buildings. Cathedrals with their soaring spires served not only as places of worship but also as visual markers, helping people navigate within the city. From these historical examples, we can see that architecture has always been more than just designing buildings. It's about creating functional, aesthetically pleasing spaces that contribute to the overall urban landscape. Even back then, architecture was not just about buildings, but about shaping the entire urban landscape. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, a period that completely transformed our cities. Picture this: smokestacks piercing the skyline, the clatter and clank of machinery echoing through the streets, and the hustle and bustle of workers commuting to and from newly erected factories. The Industrial Revolution, starting in the mid-18th century, was a monumental shift that brought about significant changes in architecture and urban planning. As industries grew, so did the need for larger factories and warehouses. These weren't just functional spaces, their architecture became symbols of progress and prosperity, with their imposing facades and towering smokestacks. But with progress came challenges. Cities began to swell as people flocked from rural areas in search of work. The demand for housing skyrocketed, leading to the rise of workers' housing. These were often cramped, poorly ventilated, and lacked basic amenities. But necessity is the mother of invention, and architects of the time rose to the challenge. They began designing multi-story buildings, employing new construction materials like iron and steel. This allowed for the creation of bigger, more durable structures that could accommodate more people. These buildings, often arranged in rows or around courtyards, were the precursors to our modern apartment complexes. But it wasn't just about housing. The Industrial Revolution also saw the birth of urban planning as we know it today. Cities needed to be organized, with clear demarcations for residential, commercial, and industrial zones. Streets had to be laid out, public spaces planned, and infrastructure developed. Architects became urban planners, tasked with designing not just buildings, but entire cities. They had to consider factors like population density, traffic flow, and public health. They had to ensure that cities were not only functional, but also livable. The Industrial Revolution forced us to rethink our cities, and architecture was at the forefront of this transformation. So as we delve deeper into the role of architecture in urban planning, let's not forget the lessons learned from this pivotal period in history. For it was during the Industrial Revolution that architecture and urban planning truly became intertwined, shaping the cities we live in today. In the 20th century, architecture took a dramatic turn with new ideas and technologies reshaping our cities. As we delve deeper into the 20th century, architects began to experiment, breaking away from traditional forms. This era of exploration gave birth to some of the most influential movements in modern architecture: brutalism, postmodernism, and deconstructivism. Brutalism, a style that thrived from the 1950s to the mid-1970s, challenged conventional notions of beauty. Architects utilizing this style focused on raw, unadorned materials, often concrete, to create monumental and fortress-like structures. These buildings, while often criticized for their austere appearance, played a significant role in urban planning. They provided affordable, functional spaces during a period of rapid urban growth and societal change. Postmodernism, which emerged in the mid to late 20th century, was a reaction against the perceived rigidity and utopian ideals of modernism. It reintroduced ornamentation, color, and a sense of humor into architecture. In urban planning, postmodern buildings often served as landmarks, their distinctive designs adding character and a sense of identity to cities. Then came deconstructivism, a movement of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Characterized by fragmentation and non-linear design processes, it created buildings that seemed to defy conventional laws of physics. This style brought an element of surprise and intrigue to cityscapes, challenging our understanding of what a building could be. These movements have left an indelible mark on cities around the world. From the brutalist Barbican estate in London to the postmodern Piazza d'Italia in New Orleans to the deconstructivist Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, they have redefined how we perceive and interact with our urban environments. So while modern architecture has given us some of the most iconic and controversial buildings, it's crucial to remember its role in shaping our cities. It's not just about creating structures that stand out, but also about using design to respond to societal needs, build community identity, and stimulate urban growth. Modern architecture has given us some of the most iconic and controversial buildings, but it has also redefined our cities. So, where are we headed? What does the future hold for architecture and urban planning? As we delve into the crystal ball of architecture and urban planning, we can see a few trends that are expected to shape our cities in the years to come. Sustainable design is no longer a buzzword, it's quickly becoming the norm. It's about creating buildings and spaces that not only reduce their impact on the environment, but also improve the quality of life for those who live and work within them. We're seeing an increase in the use of renewable materials, the incorporation of green spaces into architectural designs, and a focus on energy efficiency. These trends, driven by increasing environmental awareness and regulatory requirements, are expected to continue to shape the architectural landscape of our cities. In addition to sustainability, resilience is becoming a key consideration in urban planning. As we face growing challenges from climate change, including rising sea levels, increased temperatures, and more frequent extreme weather events, our cities need to be designed to withstand these threats. This means creating adaptable, flexible spaces, and incorporating features such as flood defenses and heat-resistant materials into our buildings. Technology, too, is playing an increasingly important role in shaping our urban landscapes. From smart buildings that optimize energy use and improve comfort for occupants, to digital design tools that enable architects to create more efficient and innovative designs, technology is revolutionizing the way we plan and build our cities. Moreover, as we move towards a more connected world, the role of architecture in facilitating social interaction and fostering community ties is becoming more important. The design of our cities needs to promote inclusivity, diversity, and social cohesion, creating spaces where people can come together and engage in meaningful interactions. As we look to the future, one thing is clear: architecture will continue to play a crucial role in shaping our urban landscapes. Whether it's through promoting sustainability and resilience, leveraging technology, or fostering social connections, the buildings and spaces we create have the power to shape not only our cities, but also our societies, our economies, and our lives. So, to answer our initial question, yes, there's a profound art behind city design. We've journeyed from the intersection of architecture and urban planning, observing how these disciplines intertwine to shape and define our cities. We've delved into history, seeing how architectural choices reflected societal norms and technological advancements, particularly during the transformative period of the Industrial Revolution. We then explored the role of modern architecture in urban planning, acknowledging how it continues to reflect society's needs and aspirations. We've also glimpsed into the future, where architecture will continue to play a pivotal role in creating sustainable and livable urban spaces, responding to ever-changing societal and environmental needs. So, let's remember that every building, every street, every public space is a testament to the thoughtful architectural decisions made by urban planners. Next time you walk around your city, take a moment to appreciate the architectural decisions that have shaped it. Because architecture is not just about buildings, it's about creating the cities we live in.